Welcome to Boulder City City Council today. Glad to have everybody here. Call the meeting to order. Madam City Clerk, roll call posting.
Thank you. The agenda was posted in accordance with Nevada open meeting law. All members are present. Sherry Jorgensen is on our phone line, and all other members are actually in the chamber.
Thank you. We will have Father Bede offer the invocation this evening, and all will arise and we can stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance immediately after. Father Bede.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we come before you with gratitude this evening. We know that you are with us now in this very room. We give you thanks for your servants, our mayor, city manager, city staff, the city council members. We thank them for the service they have chosen to provide on behalf of all of us here. We all come to this room tonight as complex human beings, carrying burdens, joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together in your love and your peace. And also we pray that you will be glorified tonight through the decisions of this council. We pray that they will have the eyes to see how our lives are all connected and how our common good is upheld when we listen and respond those most vulnerable among us. We pray that your kingdom will come to Boulder City as it is in heaven through your power working in each of these your servants. May the voices of those most silenced be heard loud and clear. Defend their cause, O God, through this governing body tonight. We ask you to give them the wisdom, prudence, strength, and courage to that what is right and what is all citizens become good stewards of your creation as they deliberate on the items before them. May they put the interest of others above their own. May they act with love for the common good. And may their every decision be righteous in your sight and benefit all of the citizens. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Bede. Will you join us then with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do have a public announcement today. Harold Harvey from the Elks Lodge, would you like to give us the announcement?
Thank you. I'm H. Harvey. That's what I go by as H, and I'm the exalted ruler down at Boulder City Lodge 1682 of the Elks. My purpose tonight is twofold. I'd like to reacquaint you with who we are, what we do, and then tell you about something special we've got coming up. We got our charter in 1946. We've been here ever since, moving to our present location in 58. We're the second largest of 16 lodges in Nevada right now at 1,250 members, 57% of which are actually Boulder City residents. And when you throw in spouses, that accounts for about 1,300 plus Boulder City adults, which is pretty good for a club in a town of this size. We are a God and country nonprofit type organization. Candidates seeking membership must profess a belief in God and must be an American citizen. We are all about patriotism and charity. And last year we doled out a little over $50,000, about half of it locally. I see some kids back here from a team. A lot of our money goes to teams, helping them out. So if your coach hasn't asked the Elks for money, send us a letter asking what you need it for. Our response is always to send $1,000 back your way. Okay? Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, a little over 50,000. And then we put 13,000, I think, up to the state level and 14 at the national level because they have their own programs. And the state level came right back to Boulder City with a check for $128,000 for St. Jude's Healing Center. I just got choked up saying that. It's a special organization to belong to. Besides the charity, we take part in a lot of civic activities. You'll see us in the parades and at some of the festivals. The National Night Out, I think I gave away 400 hot dogs last year. We hold hoop shoots at the national and not at the national, at the local and the regional levels, bringing a couple hundred people to Boulder City. And scholarships are available for the kids that can shoot free throws. So that's a good thing for the kids to get into. The soccer shoot, same thing. We hold the local here. We have close affiliation with the Veterans Home. Every month we have veterans out to dinner at the lodge, and sometimes we take them on activities. We had something really neat this spring where our bikers club, part of the Elks, taught a fly tying class and then took 15 of the vets down to the pond in Veterans Park, and one of the guys caught 14 fish on this fly. It was just great, because they don't get out much. So that's cool. We provide a lot of things that they need through fundraising and people just donating razors and deodorant and whatever. We've been the sponsors of Troop 7 Boy Scouts since 1959. And when I leave here in a few minutes, that's where I'm going, is to their meeting, because they're going to be involved in what I'm telling you about next, which is our Flag Day ceremony this Saturday at 2 p.m., the 14th of June. Each year is Flag Day. And all lodges in the country are required to have a Flag Day celebration and to open it to the public so we can demonstrate our patriotism and get other people excited about it. What's going to happen is there's going to be 8 flags presented from colonial times up to our current 50-star model, and by the Scouts. And for each one, there'll be some narration on the importance of the flag, and there'll be a keynote speaker who is very dynamic, and it's short. And patriotic music throughout. And I got to tell you, this thing is an emotional and uplifting experience. And I must have seen, I'm facing the crowd, I must have seen 8 or 10 people with tears running down their face at the end of this ceremony last year. After the ceremony, which takes about 45 minutes, there's a light lunch of hot dogs and apple pie. How are you going to get more American, right? And some potato salad thrown in for good measure. We got the best in the state amongst the Elks Lodges for Flag Day last year, and so our state president is coming all the way from Elko this Saturday to come down and observe our ceremony and see it for himself. And that's his whole purpose for his trip, so that's quite a commitment. Next time you'll see him is when he gives the next check to St. Jude's, because they're still our major fundraising project for the state. We would dearly love to have some kind of representation from our city government to stop by and say hello to our state president. You all are cordially invited, as is the public, for this event on Saturday at 2 p.m. at the Elks Lodge. Come on out and demonstrate your patriotism. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. We appreciate that. Madam City Clerk, can I go ahead and get the other teams going right now, or after public comment?
They're actually agendized.
So when we open up public comment, anybody can come forward, state your name, write it in the journal, as it were, and that could include anyone who's on any team who is grateful for their coach and everything that their coach has done for them. Does that sound like a subtle hint? So in public comment, I'll open up public comment now. All those who can come forward and address anything that's on the agenda in this form of the public comment. Anyone in the room or anyone online can call in at 702-589-9629.
We have a caller on the line.
Okay, we'll take the we'll call her online first, but go ahead and come to
Public
the
comment.
podium.
Hello, my name is Ray Turner, and I'm a 25-year resident of Boulder City. I'm calling to make a public comment on agenda item 3. I wish to voice my support for the creation of a 48-inch ADA-compliant pathway under the porticos along Nevada Way and in front of the crowded restaurants and bars in the Boulder City Historic Business District. There are many disabled residents and mobility-challenged senior citizens living in and visiting Boulder City who are being disregarded in a humiliating way by not being provided with a safe and comfortable pathway outside these crowded, popular public places. These citizens deserve the legal protections and zoning regulations that were enacted to serve their special needs. Those protections are currently being ignored. When I moved to Boulder City in 2000, there were no crowded sidewalks. Today, those sidewalks have been turned into basically outdoor seating areas, not sidewalks. The legal and moral burden lies with the restaurants and bars to not overcrowd the public sidewalks. Creative alternative seating configurations, as well as a designated ADA lane painted onto the sidewalk, is the logical solution. Disabled and mobility-challenged residents are being shut out from enjoying what the rest of us take for granted every day. I expect the City Council to take decisive action on this important issue, and my vote in elections coming up will be influenced by your actions on this issue. Do the right thing and settle this important issue with the simple solution of creating a high-visibility ADA-compliant lane for those who need it. It could be you or a loved one who someday finds themselves disabled or mobility challenged. Do the right thing, City Council. Regarding the Nevada Way renovations, I am in favor of painting or staining the existing sidewalk under the shaded historic porticos. I'm not supportive of pushing them out into the sun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else on the line? Anyone here in chambers would like to come forward in public comment?
Hello, my name is Angelica Moorhead. I really hate having my back to you, but do I have to, can I turn this way? Or do I have to talk in the microphone? Okay, I'll talk in the microphone. So, let me hand that over to somebody. Sorry. I am the head softball coach at Boulder City High School, and these are some of our beautiful ladies that played on the varsity team this year. We took third in state. We were the regional divisional champions this year. We had a record of, I believe, 25-10, and I just wanted to recognize these young ladies. So when you come out over here. So Eden Gomez, Bailey Cook, Kylie Zubernat. You guys can go around this way too. Peyton Rogers, Chloe Jameson, Hayden Nordstrom, Itzali Skousen, Ivy Deneen, and then part of my crew, Paxton Fleming, Alyssa Bryant, and Lena Washburn. So thank you so much. We thank you for your support. We have a lot of people in the city who support us, a lot of businesses, and without your support, it makes it hard for going to tournaments and taking care of business out of state. So we appreciate it, and we hope you can come out and watch us next season and kick some more booty. Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, I'm going to take a recess, and we're going to go down and get a picture taken with the team. The City Council's in recess.
I can't see the map. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Good job, guys.
On my piece of candy, I did. Oh, wrapper is what it was.
We're still in recess, and we still have certificates that have to be passed out. So if the team is still around, come back. We will come back from recess, call the meeting back to order, and continue with public comment. Anyone who would like to have public comment come forward, or anyone on the phone line, 702-589-9629. See no one on the phone or in... We do have somebody who's going to come forward.
I once was young like them, but now I'm not. I'm Cindy Swanson, 535 Birch Street, and I'm talking in regard to, I think it's item number 10 on your agenda, the Nevada Way. And I appreciate all the good work that Gary Poindexter and his team have done, including people from the staff. Very pleased with that. And as much energy that goes into that, I am asking this legislative group, because you are the lawmakers, it's not going to do anything unless we have good code enforcement. It's not going to mean anything. We can put money into it, time into it, but unless there's good code enforcement, it's not going to work. And I'm going to say one other thing, that when we talk about this, it is not the ADA sidewalk. It is a pedestrian sidewalk that, by the way, does include ADA compliance. Because what's going to happen is those of us who need ADA space, we're going to be like blamed or, oh, we can't walk there. And you do know that handicap parking is just for handicap cars that have the handicap placard, right? So we don't want to confuse that. We don't want to confuse people to think, oh, gee, I don't have a disability. I can't walk down that street. So our language has to be consistent. Our language has to be, this is a sidewalk that meets the ordinance and that also allows people who have compliant needs, wheelchairs, service dogs, that sort of thing. So I'm just asking for the agreeable language that this is the proper sidewalk for people. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. It may be appropriate, go ahead and come forward if you've got public comment.
I figured I'd get up before Cindy had to sit down. I'll put her name down for her and mine. I'm Pam Triolo. Just a minute. And I am speaking in favor of 2A. I did have some issues with it, but I've kind of worked them out. Number one was the parallel parking. I don't parallel park. I will go around the corner. But on the other hand, Ash Street, people are parallel parking there. From what I understand, they're putting great big parallel parking spaces so even I can parallel park. So I had to do it to pass a driving test, but I can probably count on one hand how many times in my lifetime I have parallel parked. As to the shaded walkway, yeah, it would be great, but you can't put it on the inside because there would only be two accesses, the beginning and the end. There would be no way for us to access the sidewalk otherwise, because otherwise we're walking through tables, which we can't get through. So my hope is that we get the 4 feet out there and that eventually we figure some way, some awning or whatnot, but that can be down the road because normally where we walk, we don't have covered walkways. As nice as it would be, I understand. Next, the road needs repairs anyway, so let's take the RTC money and let's do it right, so we don't have to tear up things and redo things down the road because it's going to cost a lot more money. Also, I do like all the parking that was added on Wyoming, the way they did it and took out the little island that didn't serve any purpose. That's fantastic. I want to agree with Cindy that this is a pedestrian way, and that way the restaurants and businesses can use their space and we've got our space to walk down. 29% of Boulder City residents are seniors. 43% of seniors nationwide have a disability. 9% of people under 65 have a disability, and 10% under 65 are temporarily disabled, like Brittany over here would understand that when she came in with her crutches. So that's a lot of people that we're not doing these things for just old people. We're doing this for everybody. Everybody has this need. So it's 2A. I think it's fantastic, but you kind of I needed to work it through my brain, which sometimes is slow. But like I said, the parallel parking and the shaded walkway, it's good right now. So, okay, so thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hi all again. Bryn Delormier, and I'm also up here to speak about agenda item number 10, specifically the pedestrian access to Restaurant Row. And I agree with bits of what everybody said, mostly about the shaded historic porticos. Boulder City is a small and walkable town, and I moved to the historic residential district for that reason. I don't drive myself unless I absolutely have to. I count on being able to walk downtown and to run all my errands. And all of us, I think all of us who are regular pedestrians value that shaded sidewalk, considering I have to walk most of my way to that in the sun. So, like I said, I value getting to that shaded part, and I think it's also what sets us apart from Las Vegas and Henderson, being that they don't have those shaded historic porticos, and most people there, they jump in their cars to get from one place to another, and we have this luxury here of being able to have a walkable historic downtown. So, I value that about our town. I think a lot of people who live in the residential district or just travel to the residential district, park in one place and go around to walk to everything, do value that. That's what sets us apart from everywhere. So removing that and making it less pedestrian friendly, I feel really detracts from what makes Boulder City unique and historic, and not Henderson and not Las Vegas. So I think we should be adding more opportunities for shade. We should be adding more street trees on the other streets, particularly Wyoming. And I realize we can't do that right now in the summer. We can't plant trees in the middle of July when it's 105 degrees out, but maybe it's something that we could visit at another phase, during September, October, when we can plant things. And, I do think that we should keep the ADA access under the porticos. That space does not belong to the residents. This town was initially designed for that to be for pedestrians, and I'm hoping we can keep it that way. And like Pam had mentioned, we need to have access from the street to the restaurants, so I'm hoping they can also add, if they're going to extend the sidewalks, add ADA space there as well. And I'm hoping that we can actually enforce it. So whatever needs to be done there, if they need more code enforcement, if they need BCPD to have foot patrol, I'm hoping that this council can advise BCPD to do that. But I think enforcement is, any way that you slice it, enforcement is key to making any of it work. So hoping that you consider that. And if I can request the hand mic, because I think Cherubel wants to speak also. So thank you. That's all I have for my name.
Hi, my name is Cherubel Lobb. I've been a resident of Boulder City for a handful of years now. I want to start off by saying thank you to Ned Thomas, Gary Poindexter, and Michael Ace for meeting with the Boulder City Disability Access Group yesterday to go over 2A and to hear some of our concerns and to tell us a bit about what we were kind of confused on and what had been worrying us. I am in support of item number 10, 2A now. I still have some concerns and reservations, but most of those will come down to code enforcement. Because as everyone has already pointed out, we can all try our best, but, and Gary Poindexter is obviously trying his best, but in the end, code enforcement is going to hold the line. I believe that extending the sidewalks, painting them, and adding making sure there's a pedestrian walkway is very important. I believe that at some point down the line, doing things such as adding trees or adding some type of extra shade would be a good idea. One concern I do have that I believe, once again, will fall under code enforcement that needs to make sure that we need to make sure happens, is that there is still enough room for people in some type of mobility device to maneuver while under the porticos. Because the way it's often described is that we will be able to go up into the restaurants and have the walkway. However, many of us who are disabled would also like to be able to go up to the tables outside and sit and eat when it's cool enough to do so. And so we just need to make sure that that room is given. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone on the phone? 702-589-9629. Go ahead, sir.
William Moorhead, Boulder City residents. Good evening, council. Couple things, we just got a bunch of new plans dropped on us, so we're going to adjust that, but I want to start with some new slurry and striping that's been going around town. There's been some on the north and south Escalantes, Avenue B from Nevada way to Wyoming. None of that striping is at 30 degrees. So that's just part of the whole big picture here. So on these new plans, they have these cross sections. I don't know, a lot of people in Boulder and the residents might not be familiar with what just dropped. So they're going with an existing cross section as it stands currently. There's no sidewalks added. Everything just how it is, how we're living it today. There's the red thing says required parking, 19 and a half feet. Next cross section is option 1. Same as the current, no sidewalks added. It does say in green now, 17 feet. I'm gonna go back real quick. On that first one, it shows the parking at 45 degrees, which it is currently at 45 degrees. And this next one now, option 1, no sidewalks. It says required parking, 17 feet. And now it's saying parking at 30 degrees. Now to come to 2A, that's when they start adding sidewalks, expanding the parking lane from 17 and a half feet to 19 and a half. The one travel lane now goes to 13 feet. The other one's still 12. Then you get the 9 feet for parallel parking and sidewalk on the east side. Parking now says 45 degrees. And with this new 2A, or this what we've realized now, pushing everything towards ACE, adding sidewalks, expanding parking lanes, 5.5 feet is off center now of what the current center is of this road. So the whole road gets moved over. The center line's over 5.5 feet. And that creates, when you look at the corresponding map for 2A, I don't know if it's all in the plans, it could be, I'm not sure. But now those knuckles at Avenue B are not, you can't pass through them now because you're 5 feet, you eliminate 5 feet of travel in this lane pushed over from the center. So I don't know if that's part of the whole project, but there's more work there. And both those knuckles have to be made wider or cut back. So that's, more work, more time, more money. Time is of the essence. I understand that. I'm not against, any businesses or anything. I understand, actually, their concern and the urgency to get this project started in this time frame that they chose because business is a little bit down on the hot months. And also there's, there's Joe's here to explain maybe what happened in 1997, what utilities were replaced, or is it all 50-year-old pipes and sewers? I would hope it wasn't. I hope we took care of that in 97. That's information we would like to have. And the parking thing, is it 90, is it 45? And then also, once this gets to code, are we gonna go down Arizona Street and do the same thing? Because it's going to eliminate a lot of parking. If you're going to put that 19.5-foot box on Arizona Street, say bye-bye to parking because you're going to go parallel on one of the sides. So I don't know how this is all. What I would like to maybe close with is we got to tear up the asphalt. I know time is of the essence. So if we can tear up the asphalt right after 4th of July, the 7th, the 10th, whatever decided, start tearing that up. Find out what pipes need to be replaced underneath, but let's kind of slow down and make sure we have a clear plan on how this adding concrete is going to affect the big picture and what's going to happen in the future. So it's a design build project, correct? As we go, you're designing it as you go. There's no hard plans. We got bids on this. We got bids on the other one when it was in the center. I'm sorry, I'm trying. So I'm in favor of new asphalt and all that, but let's decide, is it 30 degrees, is it 45 degrees, is it necessary to move the whole Nevada way over 5 feet, the center line? And I understand the impact on the businesses. That was a concern that was voiced for the council. But I walked down Restaurant Row this afternoon. It was high noon, nobody's out there. But there was accessibility. The tables were like, wow, it can happen. They're so close. We're so close to making this happen, and just a little effort can go a long way. We need to think of all the businesses and all the businesses that are impacted by less parking. That's not good. I've spoke to a lot of businesses that the parking, we're eliminating very valuable, important parking when we do all this, adding concrete and everything else. So I'm sorry, I'm going over my time, but just something to consider. And I know we got a lot of answers coming with the parking codes and what happened in 97 underneath the highway. Hopefully it got addressed. We can tear up asphalt, fix pipes. In the meantime, let's not pour concrete yet, not decide. Let's get a big picture, a clear picture on what that concrete's going to do. And maybe the other businesses, some businesses, 85% are in compliance. Maybe they could show a little good neighborly thing about maybe making it work, helping it get going. Thank you.
Thank you. No one on the phone?
Good evening. Deb Finnegan, 45 years or so in Boulder. I'm for 102A. I've been looking at it a lot. Went to the meeting yesterday. I really appreciated it. Mine's more of a question I know you can't answer, but I'm just going to say it now to make sure it's answered. I'm pretty sure that the parking right now, how it is, it's not up to code. So, you know, they're talking about the taping and they're talking about the pipes, but the parking, I'm sure, is not up to code right now. And I might be wrong, doubt it. So I just want to make sure that's answered later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please come forward before we take a recess.
Okay. Can I get my guys up here?
Say, I'm going to let you say something first.
Say something?
Say something.
Well, I hate to talk with my back to y'all, but I'm Sarah Carroll. I've been the coach of Boulder City High School swim for 32 years. And we've always had a really strong swimming tradition, both men and women in this town. A lot of you guys are not aware of it because we can't have meets here anymore, so we have to travel to go to our meets. So it's not like going to a football game or a basketball game or a baseball game. So you can see these guys on a regular basis, but they're very, very impressive athletes. And this is our third straight state championship. And we've won 21 of them since I've been coaching, men and women together, mixed in. But I want to introduce these guys real quick and just voice our appreciation for any support and love, which I feel right now, that you can give us, because swimming rules, not going to lie. Okay, first of all, we got Jack Smith, Tate Orton, Canyon Lennon, Eric Garza, Cruz Stevens, Ben Hardy, wow, that's a weird name, Aiden Villa, Liam Pence, and Brigham Jensen. We are missing Leandre Daniels, Noah Farnsworth, and Duncan McLaren. Thank you.
Now, we're going to take a brief recess, and we will get a picture.
Well, some of them got to go lifeguard now, so we had to get the show on the road. You know me, so. Oh, you want us back here? Okay.
We will come back from recess, and at this time, I'd like to read something, or maybe I can have, okay, anybody else for public comment before we actually do something important? Did I say that?
Take that back.
That wasn't very jokesy.
Introduce yourself.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. I just want to publicly acknowledge all the immense work that Gary and the rest of the Boulder City staff have put into item agenda number 10. Tremendous amount of work and tremendous amount of interactivity with the community as a whole. And thank you from all of us for your hard work. I'm pretty sure that you guys have already made up your mind on this agenda item, so I'm not going to go into and reiterate, rehash everything that's already been stated. All I ask is, as a human, as a Boulderite, and a caring individual here in town, that whichever option you guys choose as our ultimate end goal for this redevelopment, that you do consider our handicap population, and take into consideration. I mean, we're already well over 100 degrees the last few days. It's a tough walk out there, and I know that we can't put a little piece of shade over every person who walks around Boulder City, but I think at this point, because Boulder City's probably gotten used to the porticos over the last 2 decades, and enforcement that hasn't necessarily been enforced. We have an opportunity to kind of fix all that with this redevelopment. And I do think that there's some solution to be had where everybody benefits, whether it's the businesses, not even losing any seating, to maybe gaining some patronage because there is more opportunity for shaded access. And I think there is that opportunity to kind of blend a few of these ideas together, and maybe the simple solution is literally cut to the chase and tear up the road, which needs to be done, and then kind of figure it out. I know it's not really ideal to figure it out on the flip side, but maybe if we just have a little more objectivity and consideration into the big picture, I'm sure that there's a solution to be had here that benefits everybody, from the businesses to the able-bodied people to the handicap. I think we can all get along here. I'm definitively in the pro-business fan box, but we can't make it at the expense of everybody else either. I mean, they've had access to that space for a long time without compliance, and I think it's time to kind of give a little bit of that back. Thank you so very much. Brandon Smith, Boulder City Human.
Thank you. Anyone else with public comment or calling in at 702-589-9629? No one on the phone, no one in chambers. We will close public comment and again go do something that I think has probably been overdue. We are going to recognize Salome Jarvis.
That's agendized also, so you'll have to take a recess if you want to do it.
Yeah. And for those people who want to stay for the whole thing, they can, but I'm going to go in recess, and then we will present Salome with an award and recognition. So if Salome is here, we would like to do that at this time. we can do it right now.
We just need to approve the regular agenda first.
Okay. So I will ask Salome, come forward, please. So for possible action, approval of the regular agenda.
Approve.
Second.
It's moved and approved, and is there any opposition? And likewise approved for the consent agenda?
Got to vote on that, Mayor.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. It's unanimous. And then we have the regular agenda that's done, and we can go to, pardon?
We just need a separate motion for consent.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
And it's done. Thank you.
All those in favor say
All
aye.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Thank you. And we heard from Sherry out there too. So we are now going to go into item
If we go to 9.
9 out of order. If there's no objection, that's what we will do. Seeing no objection, that's what we're going to do. We will go down. So Salome Jarvis has received an award, and the NAAP Awards, each year the NAAP honors individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions, setting new standards in their fields. NAAP awards celebrate dedication, leadership, and innovation, highlighting the remarkable contributions that make a lasting impact. The award categories include Rising Star, Quality of Excellence, Activity Professional of the Year, and Award of Distinguished Service. The Activity Professional of the Year award celebrates an outstanding individual whose passion, creativity, and dedication have profoundly enriched the lives of seniors. This award honors a professional who goes above and beyond to create meaningful experiences, fosters engagement, and enhances the well-being of residents through innovative and compassionate programming. Salome, thank you for everything you've done. And we have an award to give you, not just a pretty plaque, but and it's our honor to get a picture with you. So is there anybody here from the hospital? Yes. Well, please come up. And Jennifer? All right. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we'll do this.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. You want me to show both are together here. Get back here with me. Some of the taller ones get back here with me.
All right, we need you to squeeze a little bit tighter.
One's going down for the count.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
So while you're here, I'm not going to hold the flowers. Can you hold the flowers? You're probably going to say something about what you've done, how you do it, and the magic you have.
Well, I give my patience that I have for the elderly. I say thanks to God. And I know that our association, this is Elisa Tagg, she's one of the presidents of NAP, NCAP, I'm sorry. And if I ever have any questions or anything, I call her. And I love the elderly. I have since I was a very young girl, and I think it takes a very special person to work on a long-term care unit. And you definitely have to have a lot of patience, and again, I give that to God. He gave me that gift.
Thank you. Are we in recess now? We're in recess. I just said it. We're in recess. So this is my observation. When we're all gone and past the bar and we've passed on and we're what we used to call dead, but we still live on in one way or another, when that happens to me, and if I see Salome there, I'm in the right place. Thank you, Salome. Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll come back from recess. You can tell how carefully I've scripted this meeting. Okay, we are now, we've done everything except number 8 and beyond. So our presentation by Dr. Deanna Sasklowski, please come forward and regale us.
Hi, good evening. Deanna Jaskolski. I proudly serve as the Region Superintendent for the Clark County School District that supports our amazing schools here in Boulder City. Notice of compliance. There are no notices of non-compliance from the state to share first. Secondly, to share celebrations. So we had 141 students earn their high school diploma from Boulder City High School with honors and distinction. The senior class was accepted into 37 different colleges, institutes, and universities, received over 200 different scholarships or awards, and earned almost $3 million in scholarships. So it was a great year academically, and also was for athletics as we celebrated our teams here this afternoon. So with the boys team winning the state championship in May, that's the 136th championship for Boulder City High School, and I did notice that on the way in, that was updated. This year marked the 10th year anniversary of the Grad Walk tradition. It began a decade ago as a simple walk, and it's now grown into the citywide celebration, celebrated by students and staff at Garrett, King, and Mitchell. And Ms. Wagner wants to share it's one of the best things of Boulder City, that everyone celebrates our students. Sharing from Garrett Junior High School, they are fully staffed, and their class sizes are smaller for next school year, so they're very excited for that opportunity. Their interim formative assessment data, which is the MAP data, showed significant increase in growth with all grades at high achieving and high growth. Their awards night, they recognized over 120 students for their achievements. 5 students were presented with a UNLV STEM scholarship to attend a summer camp with the choice of drones, robotics, generative AI, and coding to go along with their STEM Governor Award. In the performing arts, they traveled to the Universal Studios. They came away with top honors. They placed first in both the mixed choir and show choir and earned the coveted Esprit de Corps Award, given to one group that best embodies spirit, encouragement, and positivity towards others. Their amazing student council was awarded the Spirit of Nevada from the Clark County School District. And they are finalizing their STEM initiatives that I share when I come. They're expanding now for their new elective for Hydroponics 2, where they're designing and building their own greenhouse. They also would like to share that they have a number of students that are coming in on the change of school assignment opportunities through the Clark County School District, and they do have a few seats available for any students that would like to join the Bobcat community. 4 scholarships that were sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Frank in memory of their son Ben, who is their first STEM teacher at Garrett and part of creating the vision for becoming the governor's designated STEM school. They had their 8th grade promotion parade with the King 5th graders and the Mitchell 2nd graders. And then finally, on their STEAM day, the students participated in a number of challenges as they bid farewell to their 8th grade class and led them out the Boulder City High School Eagle Tunnel to send them on their next chapter. Martha P. King Elementary School wants to share that they're very excited that for their formative assessment on the MAP assessment as well, that they were designated high growth and high achievement. And based on those predicted proficiencies, they're expected to exceed last year's SBAC math performance by more than 11%. In the final month of school, they received a generous $2,000 donation from the Boulder City Rifle and Pistol Club, allowed them to purchase field day shirts. They are very thankful, and the support brought joy to their students. Looking ahead, King is also fully staffed. They currently are enrolled at 372 students, which is above the projection. If they were to receive additional funds because of the over-enrollment, their top priority is to hire a full-time or part-time school counselor to support their social-emotional goals. Celebrate the end of the year. They enjoyed the barbecue at the park and swam in the pool, and they want to thank the director and staff of the Boulder City Pool. Also like to express his sincere thanks and appreciation for his fellow Boulder City principals. They meet monthly to collaborate and set shared goals. And he's grateful to work alongside such a dedicated team. And thank you to Amy Wagner for allowing them to be part of the high school graduation ceremony. Closing the year on the field is a powerful reminder of the purpose behind our work. And lastly, for Mitchell Elementary School, they'd also like to share on the formative assessment data for the MAP assessment, that they demonstrated high growth and high achievement in both reading and math. They, as a Leader in Me school, they set wildly important goals that are otherwise known as WIGs, and they exceeded that demonstration growth in reading at 97.4% and for math at 98.3%. They are very thankful for the City of Boulder City Sunrise and Sunset Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce, local businesses, Friends of Boulder City Library, and the over-the-top Parent Advisory Committee, parent volunteers, and families. Their kindergarten students and families celebrated the conclusion of their first year with impressive performances at their kindergarten graduation ceremony at Boulder City High School. Mitchell celebrated the kinder, 2nd grade, 5th grade, and 8th grade students by participating in the promotion parade. And they started a new tradition on the last day of school. As their 2nd graders leave the building for the last time, they wear Mitchell alumni shirts. Family, students, and staff celebrated them with a round of applause. Get goosebumps just sharing that. And then the tradition continued of 2 kindergarten students sharing their life advice with the graduating seniors from Boulder City High School at their graduation. For the report this evening, I want to share the increase, a 5% increase in graduation rates. As a reminder from this report, these are the graduation rates from last school year. So the graduation rates from this school year that just concluded, those are not finalized until the beginning of the school year, usually around September, October-ish. Also want to share a significant increase in our students in middle school that are taking Algebra 1 and our geometry courses, which are high school courses that are offered at the middle school. So you see a significant increase in the number of students there. And also happy to report the continued decrease in chronic absenteeism. Very thankful for our families and community members in understanding the importance of attendance, as well as lastly to celebrate our decrease in out-of-school suspensions for any behavior infractions at all 4 of our schools. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any comments or questions? Go ahead.
I'm still interested in how many of our children are proficient in math and reading. I didn't see that in here. To me, that's the most important thing, and I think I was shocked when I saw how bad it was. And then I got my RJ today. I don't know if you had time to see that, but it says that Nevada failing children ranks 47th again, indicators worsen. You have to have seen that too. What is a school doing to improve that? Because this is terrible. It hasn't got any better since in about the last 4 years. So what can we do?
Thank you for that question. So the proficiency, so our students just completed the state assessment, the end of April, the first couple weeks of May. So that will be in an upcoming report from this past state assessment. What I was able to share from our celebrations from our schools is the formative data. So that's the assessment that they take 3 times a year, and that our schools were demonstrating the high growth and high achievement. I know our schools and our leaders and educators participated in what we call professional learning communities to grow and learn from one another, as well as participating in professional growth and development from the district, as well as support from the school associate superintendent. So I don't have the state data, but I am happy to report the high growth, high achievement, and then we see a high correlation from that data to increasing our state scores as well.
I have to. So what are you doing to bring this rankings up so that maybe we could be in the top 10 instead of the very bottom?
No, I appreciate that question. As a system, we operate under what's called the multi-tiered system of support. So that's our Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Really what that means is Tier 1 is for all of our students. What we've refined over the last 2 years is an opportunity to really address and meet the needs of all of our students. So that's a Tier 2. So students that aren't successful, say in the math lesson today, and need additional skills that they're pulled to meet their specific needs. So the MAP data that I referenced, our educators pull that data and information so they know how Deanna scored on those assessments, as well as on the assessments that the teacher is giving in the class, and are pulling for additional support. We've provided materials this school year for that, for our educators to be able to pull our students to provide that individualized, differentiated support.
And why do you feel, is it a language barrier? Why we're so far at the bottom too? I hear you saying that, but is there any other things that contribute to this? Is there, why we're...
Oh, I'm sorry, I was waiting for you to finish the question. My apologies.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
I was looking for your answer.
Understood. I wish, Councilwoman Booth, that there was a simple, easy answer to that. There is funding concerns that we do have. We have the shortest school day in most of the country for our students, in a 6-hour and 11-minute day. I know our new superintendent, Superintendent Ebert, is doing a remarkable job in working with our legislation and our community to best understand what our needs are for additional funding and the needs for our students. I am happy to report as well that moving into next school year, as was shared in the celebrations as well, is that we've seen an increased a number of staff. So licensed teachers that are in our classrooms that are not long-term substitutes. We are very thankful to our guest teachers and long-term substitutes and provide them support. We know that licensed educator in the classroom that knows and understands the state standards, knows and understands how to meet the needs of each of our individualized students. So we're very excited to see that most of our schools here in Boulder, they're all fully staffed as a system in the Clark County School District, that we're happy to see that we have a large number of schools that are fully staffed for the first time, frankly, since COVID, and coming back from school and that. So again, I wish I had a simple, easy answer, but what I can share is the multifaceted opportunities that we're providing for our leaders and our teachers to grow in professional learning. My role in the region office, working with our school associate superintendents, is to provide those coaching opportunities, monitoring and accountability, frankly, for our leaders as well, to ensure that they know and understand what's supposed to be happening in the classrooms, how we can best support our educators to best support our students. We do that through increased classroom visits and walks. We do that through a review of the data. So our work right now is meeting with each of our principals. It's called a post-evaluation opportunity. And we review the data most recent from the spring administration of the MAP assessment, but as well as through the entire school year, and planning now for next school year, as a lot of them, and we started that, January in terms of scheduling, but really taking a look at our individualized student data and how we can best support them moving forward.
Thank you very much.
The legislature met, they did things. How do you see that, what they did, and what do you look forward from what the legislature decided, pending any other things that the governor may or may not do?
I appreciate the question, Mayor Hardy. We are working diligently through the hundreds of plus pages through, in particular, SB 460 for the education bills that came together from our governor and from the state legislation. I'd be happy to provide some more detailed information when I come back.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you for your report. You know, it's Boulder City is a bright spot in the state, and it's sad that we kind of get pulled down because the state is at 47, which is almost rock bottom, but Boulder City is a bright spot. My question for you is, what is advanced coursework diversity and achievement?
So our advanced coursework, this report is sharing with our middle schools. Our middle school here in Boulder. So at Garrett Junior High, that we have our students that are participating. Next page. Our students that are participating in Algebra 1 and Geometry. So the number that you see there from 3 years ago, that we had 36 students. Last year we had 65 students, and then this year we've significantly increased that number and opportunity for our students at Garrett Junior High for 84 students to be participating in Algebra 1 and Geometry. What that provides our students the opportunity to do is to continue the path of advanced coursework. So when they're in Boulder City High School, they have the opportunity for increased dual enrollment courses. They have opportunities for increased AP courses, whether that be calculus, AB, BC, again, truly college level work for our students. That we know that if we can reach our students coming out of elementary school into middle school with that advanced coursework, that we have an opportunity to increase their knowledge and for medical fields, for engineering, things of that nature, for our students to really have a solid foundation in advanced mathematics.
Thank you. And is the school system tracking how many children are being homeschooled versus public versus school choice? Is that broken down somewhere where we could see, because that probably is the answer to Councilman Booth's question. A lot of the parents are taking their kids out of the public schools so they can get a good education. Is the school system tracking those children?
Yes, and I can provide you with that information.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, if I may ask a question?
Please.
Thank you. So hello, Dr. J, so I don't ruin your name.
Oh, it's fine.
But I appreciate your coming and talking to us. These are kind of tough questions to be asking on your part as the face of the district for us. We are very, very proud of what's happening in Boulder City, and I appreciate the partnership that goes on with the school district, and thank you for it. I have the chance to serve on the Public Facilities Board and then also on the Clark County Debt Commission. So I know that Clark County School District just brought forward more bond for buildings and facilities. And I know that we are not doing a K-8 school. We've decided to have our schools stay separate. So my question would be, on a maintenance level, what does that mean for our schools now on maintenance, and where do we fit in? Because I know I've just talked to people in our community, parents, teachers, principals, that there are some concerns as far as maintenance at our school. The schedule is not being kept up. I also noticed in the latest information given at these board meetings that there was a decline in elementary age school kids and junior high. I think they said the high school this year was the kind of the last boom of kids that we have, and that it's at a decrease. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so if that's the case, it seems to me that maintenance of the facilities that we currently have would be crucial, because we're no longer trying to catch up or keep up with the growth per se, even though I saw new schools on the horizon. Could you let us know where Boulder City fits in that maintenance schedule?
I will. Thank you, Councilwoman Jorgensen. And you've seen with our facilities master plan with Assistant Superintendent Brandon McLaughlin as well. So I can ask for that information in regards to maintenance for our 4 schools here in Boulder. In particular, what I hear is with King and Mitchell.
Perfect. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dr. Jankowski. We appreciate you coming and reporting and giving us an overview as well as for Boulder City.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I will bring back that information and provide the other information via email. So thank you. Have a nice evening.
So we've already done number 9. We will move to the regular agenda, number 10, possible action regarding the Nevada Way reconstruction. And Mr. Poindexter.
Good evening, Gary Poindexter, Public Works Director. Item number 10 is staff has submitted for approval to award the bid to Unicon LLC and Nevada Way Reconstruction Project. Once the bid award is approved, staff will work with Unicon to negotiate a change order of this project reflecting which option for construction to select. So Public Works is requesting the City Council approve Resolution 7976, awarding the bid Unicon in the amount not to exceed $2,645,795 for the Nevada Way reconstruction. Also approving agreement number 25-31 between the City of Boulder and Wilson Engineering in the amount of $180,650 to provide construction management services for the project. In your packet, so from the last council meeting, in your packet, we tried to address all the questions. We included option 1 and option 2A mod seating as a comparison and what it would look like, but we'd like to focus on 2A. So option 1 and 2A were just to do as a comparison. There was some questions that were brought up with the 30-degree parking. So with that, option 2 prioritizes to enhance the safety, accessibility, and circulation, multi-modal usability, and supporting local businesses and preserving our community character. The purpose behind this, our street rehab, is replaces 23-year-old asphalt that is in poor condition due to wear and tear and from traffic and extreme weather. Our infrastructure improvements replaces 50-plus-year-old water services, 18 of those copper water services that will meet current standards. We installed 21 new backflows prevention devices and replaces 2 mainline water valves. By doing these improvements while the street is under construction, it saves us money. We're also part of the RTC funding. It's a no cut for 5 years. So we really try to tackle these unforeseen situations right away while we're doing the asphalt. So it is very important we address that. Also improving walkability for all. It provides a dedicated walkway for unencumbered pedestrian movement, park businesses with outdoor seating and display items. Allows sidewalk extensions on both sides to meet ADA ProWAG, which is public right-of-way accessibility guidelines standards. So key benefits to option 2A is the dedicated walkway to clear and safe pedestrian movement, allows the sidewalk extensions, maintains a 24-foot clearance for emergency vehicles, provides code-compliant vehicle parking on both sides of the street, preserves the existing parade route, supports outdoor dining opportunities, replaces existing ADA ramps to meet current standards, and replaces and upgrades sidewalks with a more decorative look. Adds motorcycle parking, full street improvements of new asphalt and striping, upgraded crosswalks, additional parking on Wyoming Street, and additional lighting of existing trees along the corridor, and no trees will be removed. The 2A we had presented last time, we had mentioned that there was going to be a change to save the tree. We moved the ADA down a little bit, or excuse me, ADA parking stall down a little bit, and that way we're not taking the one tree out. We're active, and to add to it, I know there's been a lot of discussion about encroachment enforcement. So we are actively revising the encroachment permit code, which we'll bring to you at a later date. Any questions?
Thank you, I appreciate it. And in our packet, we have heard different things, obviously, but one of the things that I appreciated in what you provided for us is the objectivity. And the objectivity I will reference, we had current number 1, 2A, and 2A modified, and of the pros, 2A had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pros compared with 1 or 4 or 5, so there were more pros. And then as far as the cons, or the things against, it was the only one that had only one thing opposed or negative, and the others had 4 to 6 things that were opposed or negatives. And I appreciate the objectivity that you folks have done looking at that, what could do. And I was hearing about the parallel parking, for instance, and I appreciated what you've done with the parallel parking that included vans for those that needed to have a van with special accommodations for wheelchairs getting in and out. And so the map that you have shows a van parking that will be improved and be safer for someone to be able and easily accessible to get out. Is that kind of how you envision it too?
That is correct. On the parallel parking side, it will be accessible on the one side for van accessible, or even just the accessibility overall getting out of the vehicle. And on the diagonal side, we leave the crosshatch area. You have a total of 13 feet, so you have a 9, and then there's got to be a 5-foot crosshatched area for van accessibility.
And then when you look at the total number of parking that's going to happen, I think one of the things that I appreciated was putting in motorcycle parking, because sometimes the motorcycles take up a whole car parking, as opposed to, you could have motorcycles specifically for them. So share with us, if you would, the parking numbers and what that does and what it looks like.
Yeah, so we're going from a current to an option 2A. We're at 106 current parking spots, which 103 of those are regular. And actually, let me back up a little bit. I'm gonna do that a little different. So we're going from current from 106, and the 2A is 135. So the regular current is 103. It will go down to 94 on the 2A. Handicap spaces will go from 3 to 6, and motorcycle spaces will go from 0 to 35. Part of that, and just in the area from Wyoming, from Nevada Way from Wyoming to Arizona, we're going to go from 46 spaces to 59. So we do have a loss on the parallel side, but we are picking up an overall. And with the motorcycles included, a lot of the riders, they don't want to park their bikes out of sight, out of mind. So we have seen where it will improve, open up some parking. And we've also, part of that is looking at, something I wanted to mention too was we had a pretty long driveway there. We were able to add a few spots to counter that, but also that's for pedestrian safety included.
I did appreciate too the remark that we've already made up our mind, and quite frankly, we haven't as a body. Now, we may have made up our mind individually, but we don't want to go to jail, so we haven't talked to each other about what we've decided. As I look at the rationale for what we're doing and getting, quite frankly, safer water to drink, sewer things that will be updated, not just the parking, but all the things that go underground or the infrastructure that will be helpful and safer. For me, it is pretty obvious when I look at the pros and cons objectively that we're looking at what you folks have figured out and given us information on 2A seems to be the very good thing to do. Now, when we did this last time, we got, I was making just gestures about what to do and how to do it, and that didn't work very well. And I appreciated the city manager saying, well, I think we need to step back and be realistic and objective. And I appreciated what the city manager did is say, come back. And so as I look at this and I look at all the different options, I'm not real anxious to go through all the different options as much as I'm anxious to say, what do we do? And if we take these one at a time, for instance, and say, for instance, I would accept a motion to accept option 2A, I would accept a second, and then have the discussion about what that is, and if we want something else amended into it. And so at this point, I would accept a motion to approve 2A.
I'll make a motion to accept 2A.
And is there a second?
So that's resolution 7976, right?
Correct.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Now, let's have a discussion about what that is, and do we have heartburn about anything that we can do something about? So let's do that up here.
I'd like Gary to explain what a backflow diverter is, because it's out there, but they're very important.
Yeah. So the backflow device protects our water system from any contaminants entering back into our water distribution system, which would.
Now we don't have those, correct?
And not in this area. No, they've been putting them in throughout the town. As new businesses come in, they're required. So you would Big T's has one. Hangar 502 has one. So as we're moving forward, we're getting them put in.
Thank you for explaining that.
Mm-hmm.
Other observations or questions?
I do, yes. So, Gary, thank you for all the work that you've put into this. One of the things that you gave us today, and I just saw it for the first time, I think, maybe I had it Thursday, but you have met with the public over 25 times. I don't think that's known to the public, that you've met with residents, and you met with businesses, and you met with us, and you met with staff, and you've been backwards trying to not please everybody, but put everything in that we possibly can to make this go forward. I think everybody's in agreement that the roadway needs to be fixed. I think enforcement is always at the top of the ticket, and like I said before, if enforcement doesn't work, then it'll never work. We'll have a nice street, but we will be right back where we started. So with the pathway on the outside, which I think 2A has.
Correct.
And I don't know if this is a possibility, because I understand you can't put umbrellas or things that you can't tie down out there. Is there a possibility down the road to put trees down that stretch of walkway?
Not necessarily. It would depend on if there is a portico already, how far we can go back with the tree, but we definitely wouldn't want to entertain, take away the dedicated walkway there. If we have the 4 feet, there is going to be, it really fluctuates between the porticos. If there's on the north side, whether it's 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. So is there room? It's something we can look at in the future, but or as we're constructing, the hard part is we can't come in and cut that street open for 5 years either.
Exactly. So that's why I was asking to maybe look at that before, and if it's possible, that may be a solution. The other thing is, can you explain a little bit more to me anyway, the 30 versus 45? 'Cause the streets right now are at 45.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. So we have minimum parking design standards. So at a 45 degree, the depth is 19.6. But if we're at 30 degree, the depth is at 17. So you're taking more of your site, your curb and gutter. Try not to do your leaving it at the 45. We can fit more spots in. The ideal is 90, is straight in. You can get the most out of most parking spots, but you need the room of the drive behind you. So you'll see Nevada Way is at 45, Avenue B, I want to say it's at 30. Some of our parking up here is at 60. It really is all based on the drive aisle. You got 21 feet in some cases. In this case, we have 12 feet, even though we have 24 feet. We don't want somebody backing into the other lane. So we have to leave it like that, where we have two 12-foot lanes, but where we have a single lane, we can mess with it a little bit.
So by looking at the diagram on 2A, the parking will be 45, not 30?
45, correct.
45, okay.
Yes.
I think I saw 30 earlier. And the fire department's okay with the lane, and they could get through
Yes.
safe and all that, okay? Somebody asked earlier, was this a design-built plan? What does that mean, design-built plan? Does that mean changes as we go? Or?
We had the design. So a design build would be, we're hiring the consultant contractor, and we're going to work with them over the next few months and design. No, we've already designed. We had the design for the center parking. However, the curb, gutter, asphalt, removing the center islands is easier than going in and adding them. If we were adding them right now, there'd be no way we could start July 7th. Being that we're removing them, still adding 4 foot on one side, 2 feet on the other. The rest is striping. So our design's going to have to be adjusted a little bit, but do it based on the approval. But right now, we're not doing a design build.
Okay, so with the company, I think it's Wilson?
Unicon.
So as they go into this project and their engineers look at what you've presented to us, and they are saying, well, this is not quite going to work, do you have that flexibility to change in the process? Is this it right here? This is hard and fast?
No, if there's something that comes up during construction, whether we see it or a contractor brings it up, we have weekly meetings. It'll be something that we sit down, whether a change order has to be done. But there shouldn't be anything that's too elaborate where it has to stretch from design too much. It should be very simple changes.
Someone asked me when I walked in today, how could I approve something that I don't know about? And everybody knows I was in the Air Force and I work with F-15s. I don't know how to fix them. I don't know how to fly them, but I know how to schedule them. And in this case, I have to depend on you guys that know what you're doing, supposedly, and, hope that you'll keep in close contact with the council or however that works as we go in the process, because we don't want to get to the end game and it's all wrong. I don't think anybody wants that.
No, we do not.
And the person who asked me that question, I appreciate that, because it is heavy on us to make these type of decisions without having the full knowledge. I know, just on the surface that the roads need to be fixed, we need to be ADA compliant, we need the enforcement, we would like shade where we could get it, all those common sense questions. But I would have to put my faith in the staff to say, okay, yep, this may not be right, but it will be right when we get to the end. And that's, how I look at things. But I appreciate that question that was asked, because it is a big responsibility to say yay or nay when you're spending millions of dollars. So thank you again for you and the staff and City Ned for, working on this project. I know it's difficult.
It's been a team effort.
It's hard to please 15,000 people, but.
Yeah, it's been a team effort. We really looked at all variables, and it is important to us also. So, but thank you.
I just wanted to say, I based my decision on this because I had a bum knee and I got to find out what it was like to walk on some of these sidewalks around Boulder City that are dated and etched and all that kind of stuff. And so the accessible walkway to me was important because it's going to be smooth, it's going to be colored, and it's going to have the the saw cut in it so that you won't be tripping on it. Because sometimes my leg doesn't quite lift up, and if there's the concrete's lifted or something like that, it causes me to stumble. So for me, it was an easy thing to say, I like that. I like all the hard work that you put into this and the ideas that you came up with. I like the idea of putting the color into the concrete so people know that, hey, this is an accessible walkway for us. It's not to sit on or anything else, so that'll be easy. So thank you for coming up with the idea of the colored concrete and the saw cut. So that's how I based my decision. And also, I really appreciated the pros and cons that you guys did with this, and that helped a lot too. But again, I really, truly do appreciate all the effort and energy you put into it. And for me, 2A was because that sidewalk is easy to walk on. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Any other comments anywhere else or here from council?
Giving a pause for Councilmember Jorgens if she wants to chime in, but I'll go ahead then. We have everything we do, all of the public works projects, utility projects, and we're taking 80 to 90-year-old infrastructure, and over the years, work's been done. Those porticos have been added by the building owners over the decades. Some maybe before the city was incorporated, some after the city was incorporated. And, we don't have, like our neighbors to the north and east, the state of Utah, they built their roads so that a wagon could do a U-turn when they were pulling, horses in a wagon. That's not how Boulder City was designed. So we've got to figure out how we can manage progression into the future with a town that was built and designed many years ago. And so this is a really good pattern, I think, that has been followed. This attachment that you put from the date beginning May 10th, 2022, all the way to current last couple weeks, has shown that we have diligently reached out, received input, gone through a variety of design ideas, and sometimes you just throw stuff on the wall and see what the feedback is. And some of them we've scrapped because, hey, it was an idea, but it was ultimately not very favorable. And that doesn't mean that there's a poor approach or a poor process. It just means it's part of the process. And so I appreciate all that we've gone through as a community to kind of storm through a change. Change, the most consistent thing in life, is the hardest thing in life, right? It's quite the irony, but it is what it is, and we're dealing with that pretty constantly here in our little community. And so I appreciate the efforts that have been done here, the research, the desire to make improvements as much as we can and be current with standards and laws, yet keep it as much as the character of Boulder City as we can. And I think we all appreciate, and especially those that come from out of town here, know our unique character. And a lot of that is sidewalk dining. And a lot of that is the ability to, socialize both inside and outside. And as the businesses on Nevada Way, the restaurants do well, so do the other businesses. They synergize together. And I think having never run, well, I've had small businesses, but I've never had a restaurant. And I couldn't imagine the challenge that the restaurant owners face on the bottom line, changing food prices constantly, bless you, and the seasonal ups and downs that we see here in Boulder City, and all of the additional challenges that they face. And so it's something that we need to take into consideration. The community members, the pedestrians, the business owners, the visitors, and take all of that and find the least bad or the most best solution. And I really am confident that we've done our due diligence, both in the professional side as well as the community outreach and relationship side. And as the mayor had pointed out, the most pros and the least cons, very objective as we've engaged the community. So I just wanted to put that out there and make sure that it's stated. Thank you for the efforts from all of our staff that, you're the one standing there, but you represent an entire team.
I do.
While
Yes.
you're standing
I
there.
couldn't have done it without
And so, and so we can't not acknowledge the entire team that have participated in this. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate it.
Mayor, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Thank you. First off, as council members have said, thank you so much for coming back with the information as a staff that we've asked for so that we can see in front of us pretty clearly pros, cons. Also, thank you to those business owners and those individuals that I had a chance to talk to this week that have spoken up. I know that I've said it in the past, and I know it's been said already at the dais, that for us in the city of Boulder City, those who have lived here long enough have seen what a non-thriving downtown looks like. And it's very nice to see people willing to put in their time, energy, invest, so that we can have a thriving downtown area. And that is a cohesive combination of things. It's not just business owners, it's also us as residents willing to support and bring our friends in to support these individuals who are doing this. So as we go about this change, I love the sheet too that says we've reached out. I don't think you would see that over the hill. We often call that over the hill where I grew up in Henderson. And I don't think we'd see the outreach, first off to the community, the outreach to the business community. I feel that shows that we care about all sides of our community, and change is going to happen. And it needs to happen, and we want it to happen in the least harmful or hurtful way, in the most productive and positive way. And thank you to the staff who have really been diligent to the point of visiting businesses, visiting with people. And I so appreciate the evolution of thought that I hear even in public comment as people come together to look at how we can make this a win-win for Boulder City. So I just wanted to state also, as others have, thank you for this.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate you coming online. We have been blessed in the city of Boulder City with people who care. And we have seen for the last almost 3 years, people who have cared about what this process is, been willing to come, been willing to talk, been willing to be in public comment, been willing to come to special meetings, working with staff, and I think we have listened, and staff has listened, and we are grateful for the input that we've been able to come together. All of us, whether we sit behind this microphone or we sit behind the other microphone or we call in. This has been truly a example of city and citizen involvement, and it works. That's what we do, and grateful for everyone who has been able to persevere with their input. Now, having said that, you never mentioned anything about doggy bowls for water.
That is correct. So that is important. We're currently on Arizona-Nevada Way. We have a water fountain with a dog bowl at the bottom. So our little furry family friends we're looking at putting another one down at Wyoming and Nevada Way. So we'll try to put a couple throughout the stretch if we can. It all depends on the water distribution system, but that is our plan.
So all those dogs on leashes will not go dry.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
And there was a question about the utilities.
Go ahead.
So we looked back. So we did the improvements up to Wyoming years ago. All the water distribution and copper services were done up to Wyoming, but not any further. So in 2007 was about the Water Service Department of Water Power. 2010 we did utilities were done from Buchanan to Wyoming, but fell short of the intersection of Wyoming and Ash. 2018, Tony's Pizza had a water leak, so we did and a meter separation. So there was part of the service line replaced, but not out to the main. And then in 2020, Big T's Cantina installed a backflow from the existing meter. With that said, the 18 copper services have not been replaced. So it is one of the questions that it came up, and I just want to make sure I address that.
So the sewer service, will they be individualized, or how will that work?
So the water services and the backflows on the sewer system, we're not touching that. We can actually do that from the manholes and reline those, so we don't need to get into the asphalt on those.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other observations or questions?
I do. Gary, if there's ever any RTC money down the road, maybe we could look at parking in general and finding places where we could maybe have a two-story parking facility. It seemed like that was the crux of what everybody was, don't take away parking spots. It's these parking spots and trees. But maybe down the road, if there's another pot of money, that's something we could look at.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. It was in the legislative process, the fuel revenue indexing was critical for us in Boulder City. We've been the recipient of many dollars from the RTC. Even though we may be small, we've been very well represented to getting a good share. I won't say a fair share, but even a good share of money from the RTC. And I think we just have to look down the road and see what we can do and what we can't do. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second, and the motion was to approve Resolution 7976. Any other comments?
Option 2A.
Option 2A, and that is the Resolution 7976, and that is including Option 2A, and then we will have another motion to do 7977. So those in favor of 7976, all say aye.
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 Did she say aye?
I did say aye.
Okay, thank you. It's unanimous. No one's opposed. It is unanimous. And then I would accept a motion for resolution number 7977.
Make a motion to approve a resolution 7977.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And that is unanimous as well. That will close our regular business.
Thank
We'll go now to public comment. Thank you, Gary.
Hi again, sorry. Bryn Delormier, and I still disagree with changing the design and intent of the original and historic porticos, and I feel like it's pandering to the businesses at the expense of pedestrians. And a few of these businesses have not been good neighbors. Specifically, Big T's is hogging sidewalk space with space heaters when it's over 100 degrees out. And our city manager and I talked on, I think it was May 13th, when we had an on-site meeting about the design, one design which has since been scrapped. And we had specifically talked about dead plants in a planter outside the building that's formerly Milo's. And I submitted a ticket through C-Click-Fix right then and there. And it's June, 10th today? Nothing's been done. So I just want to bring up, residents have continuously mentioned to you all in meetings Code enforcement is a problem in this town. It doesn't happen. And there was a meeting on May 13th. There was the police chief was there. He was questioned, and when asked, he said it would be too hard to ticket or tow people when parked illegally. So there was a town hall on May 19th. There was no police chief or no rep from BCPD present there. There was a city council meeting on May 27th. No one present there, and I don't think there's any rep present here to speak on behalf of code enforcement, and I haven't heard it brought up at all tonight. So, you know, you can pass what you want, and we can say we care about our handicapped people and our residents, and we can put all the pathways painted, stained, whatever, but if code enforcement or the lack thereof in this town is not addressed, it's going to continue to be a problem. So I ask that you all please consider that, and thank you.
I'm glad we finally got the road approved, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. My son and 5-year-old grandson were just here. They left last week. They're from New Hampshire. And my grandson's going to be starting kindergarten. And unfortunately, he goes around saying, "What the H?" but he doesn't say H. He uses the word. And so I did tell my son that he's going to get his first phone call from the teacher. That's what it's going to be about. But I would like to say about the leash law, what the H? Let's get it done. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Thomas Memmer for the record, 1310 Capri. Sorry I was late to the meeting. I wanted to be here to speak on this issue in the first public comment. Unfortunately, I got in an accident with an e-bike. You guys have got to do something about these kids. He did a U-turn right into the side of my truck. A split second sooner, he'd be dead. You got to do something. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on the phone line, 702-589-9629? Anyone here in chambers like to come forward? Or we can have a mic delivered to you.
Hi, my name is Charabelle Lobb, and I wanted to thank you guys for approving the for the walkways that are accessible for everyone, but especially the ones that are going to make it to where it's going to be accessible for me to finally be able to go downtown more often. And I just wanted to thank all of you again for all of your hard work on this, and I wanted to thank Gary Poindexter and everyone else, but I wanted to take a moment and thank all of the people from Boulder City who have been coming out and coming to these meetings to do their best to make our city as best as it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on the phone line? No. Anyone else here in chambers?
Council, Mayor, Council, staff. Again, I just want to convey my gratitude on behalf of Boulder City for the outreach. I'm pretty sure this kind of back and forth thing doesn't happen anywhere else, and that's exactly why we're here. So thank you all for your participation. In conclusion to the agenda item 10, I might just throw one last consideration out there. Seeing as summer seems to be both our bone of contention without having a shaded pathway for pedestrians and handicapped, And it also seems to coincide with the lull in the business time for our restaurants. Maybe there's some compromise to be had. And again, it all kind of rolls back down to code enforcement. Maybe we could do some sort of like, seasonal adjustment to that pathway. Whereas maybe 4 months of the year, during the hottest 4 months of the year, when that corridor is not going to be so used, that maybe for the hottest 4 months of the year, when attendance to those restaurants is down, then that enforcement comes into play, and the rest of the year, not so much. It would kind of solve both problems, and I think it would be very appreciated for everyone. And that way, the people who are all upset that they're getting forced out to the curbside, don't take it out by not patronizing the businesses, and then the businesses are kind of throwing everybody else a bit of a bone and saying, okay, look, we really do care. I think most people here in Boulder City will acknowledge and understand that we are a tourist town, for lack of better description, and anybody with a halfway decent IQ can kind of figure out that we need our downtown area to be sustainable and successful. Otherwise, we're just going to dry up and go away. I'll also, again, please ask the council to consider a vacancy tax for our main Nevada Way corridor, making sure that everybody is responsible for keeping their buildings, their appearance up, because that's basically what all of our tourists that we're counting on visiting Boulder City to appreciate. Thank you so much for all your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon Smith.
Any other here in chambers? No one on the phone line? We will close public comment, and we will go to City Council's report, and we'll start way over there. Ms. Ashurst.
Mayor. So today I did have the Civilian Military Council. It was a Zoom call, and we met with North Las Vegas and Nellis Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base, and a couple other partners around town. And one of the neat things that came out of that was the opportunity for military spouses to get education if they wanted to become a teacher or whatever. And that's something the military never offered. It was always the active duty person or the retired person, but it was never the spouses. And they really are starting to look at how, the military, soldier, airman, Coast Guard, whoever, as a unit rather than just the military fighter. So I thought that was really interesting, and I look forward to those quarterly meetings. Because I went also to Concerned Veterans of America. They are doing great things with veterans as well, dealing with homelessness and suicidal and those things. And we have a really good advocate that lives in Boulder City, Leo Garcia, who's running that up. And just much thanks to him for looking after those who have served in hard places and have come back and just cannot, just get back into life, as it were. So Leo and his team is doing a good job. Looking forward to the Shane Patton Memorial unveiling. I think that's on June 28th. And hopefully a lot of people will come out and, again, support our military that way. And, he's not just a hero here in Boulder City. He's a hero in the nation, and I would even argue around the world. So that's a jewel that we have here in someone who has served and gave the ultimate life, the ultimate service to our country. Also, there's a Constitution class that's going to take place at the American Legion on the 21st, and it's going to be a little different. It's going to be Constitution in current events. So they're going to take an hour and a half and just talk about current events and how they line up in the Constitution, what's really right and what's not right. And the last thing I have, Mayor, is the Veterans Home, 5-star facility still. So, I mean, Boulder City is just a gem when it comes to either sports or military, just all kind of different ways. And I just want to thank our residents, our businesses, the staff, just for, doing what we do, because it's not always easy. But when we work together and we communicate to one another, it may not come out my way or another way, but we have talked about it, and we have heard, we have listened, and we make a decision based on that. But I just want to thank everyone for just the time that you put in to make Boulder City what it is. And also, I want to reach out to everyone in the audience and on the television to, get involved, volunteer. We have a lot of commissions. There'll be spots coming up. There's different groups, ad hoc groups that are around, and I'm always out, on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock meeting with you guys, and I just encourage people to get involved. The more you're involved, the more you have a say-so. If you're not involved, then you really don't have a say-so in the matter. But thank you all who are here, and thank you again, Gary and the staff, for putting this together. And we hope the best for the roadway, and hopefully there's no delays. Thank you.
I wanted to start off by thanking Ned for all of his support. I've had him tromping around the horse corrals, and I've had him tromping around the landfill. He knows where all four corners are and what the top looks like. So I really appreciate working with you, and you've been such a joy to work with. So I just wanted to give you some kudos there. I also wanted to bring up the Shane Patton Memorial. It'll be at 4 o'clock on June 28th. So I hope everybody comes out and celebrates that young man. And then there was a young man that was here last meeting. He talked so well. He came up there. I wish I knew his name. But he wanted to know, how could I vote for something so easily on one and then all the discussion on another? So we have these books. I'm going to try to hold my book up here. We can get it on computer, or we can get it in a book form. I'm on the computer all day, so I like to, on the weekends, sit with it in book form. And this is all the reading that we have to do, and then we get a meeting prior to the city council meeting where we can ask any questions of staff that need to be asked or that we don't quite understand. So that way, when we come out here, we can talk about it, hopefully legibly, and have a good understanding of it to vote the correct way. So that's how we can sometimes, because we do our homework ahead of time and we have staff that helps us. So I wanted to share that with him because he was such a great speaker, and I just really enjoyed having that young enthusiasm down here, and I hope he comes back and talks again sometime. And I also had a meeting today with a Zoom meeting with Workforce, which is a great program, and it really works best in the inner cities, not so much out here as well. But Las Vegas has built a new complex, the city of Las Vegas, and their Workforce is so fantastic at helping people find jobs and education and stuff like that, that they're going to be leasing the building to them, the whole level over there, for next to nothing for 7 years, and then it'll slowly go increase because Workforce is so great. And I just want to say kudos to the city of Las Vegas for doing that and giving them a great location and a centralized location to also work out of. So that I just basically wanted to say great job, Las Vegas. And we do have some wonderful people that we get to work with along the way, the city of Henderson, city of Las Vegas, city of North Las Vegas. And so we all interact together. And sometimes we all only think we live in this little small town that we love and we call Boulder City. But there's a whole great world of wonderful people out there also. So that's all that I have, Mayor, for today.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start off with the Convention and Visitors Authority. We are planning to break ground, whether you like the way that the legislature approved the payment for the new Oakland A's professional ballpark or not, or whether you like baseball or not. There is a groundbreaking in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from yesterday, for the new A's ballpark. So that's an exciting thing coming to the valley to further solidify Las Vegas as the sports and entertainment capital of the world. F1 is coming again in November, and we've approved some community partnering so that the impact is not as harsh to the locals that are around there that commute and have businesses there. So that's an improvement. It's been an improvement each year. I don't know that everybody would say it's perfect yet, but it's a phenomenal event. Then going to the Colorado River Commission earlier today, but later after the Convention Authority. Just some information. So the average precipitation or the snowpack peaked in March. We only had 91% of the median at that time. And so the basin forecast, so the entire Colorado River Basin, is looking to Lake Powell of only about 54% of the average inflow there. And so that's pretty dismal. And we're looking right now at Lake Mead at 31% capacity. Pretty low, and Lake Powell at 33% capacity. So we need to be continually mindful. Even if runoff or the snowpack was 150%, the runoff is far less because the ground is drier and the temperatures are hotter and there's more of it going up into the sky rather than down into the river. And we're all taking a little bit of shortages because we're right around the tier 1, tier 2 level shortages. So on the forecast. And so we're hopeful that the forecasts are at least the minimum of what's forecasted, which is not great anyway, but be mindful of our water usage and be prudent there. Take advantage of whatever opportunities the Water Authority gives for water smart landscaping or the smart irrigation clocks or whatever there might be. I think that's all I've got, Mayor. So those are my updates. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone online?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I would like to. I have the opportunity to serve on a board here in town, the Boulder City Museum and Hotel. And we were meeting and had the opportunity to discuss that they've been digitizing their materials and putting it into the archives so that it's more accessible for us. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to go down, but you do have the opportunity to go down and take a look at that. The other thing is that the house that they call it the Fenton House, but is moving along, and it's going to be one of the original houses by the time it's finished. That's going to be, they found photographs of it while they were digitizing to bring it back to its original state. Also, in talking to our current city manager, Ned, he had the opportunity to go to the museum. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go to the museum, he said it was wonderful. I have to agree with him. It is wonderful. Go down there. It really helps you understand why Boulder City even exists as a community and as a city. So it's a great wealth of knowledge about our community, and take people down there that have come to visit, because when I do that, they're like, oh, it gives them a deeper appreciation for Boulder City. I also serve, like I had said earlier, on the Clark County Debt Commission Board, where we have the library, the school district, municipalities come in when they're looking to incur or ask for bonds and or debt, taxes for debt. Of course, we never bring anything forward because we're a pay-as-you-go community. But it's interesting to see what's going on in the valley and how they're able to finance it or with the school district. So I always appreciate working on those commissions, just as Councilwoman Booth said. Also, just want to invite everyone to also Shane Patton unveiling. What a beautiful time to restate as a community how much we care for those who serve for us on our behalf. I also would love to express, as I'm sitting at baby weight right now for my oldest daughter in Washington, my gratitude to my fellow council members. This week, I had the chance to meet with quite a few individuals in the community, and it was very interesting. Every time I called them up, they would say, well, I'm meeting with Council Member Walton at this time, Council Member Booth at this time, the mayor at this time. It is a pleasure to serve with individuals who basically, I would say put your money where your mouth is, but I'm not sure how much money that is, who actually take the act of serving to heart and are willing to meet with all of us. And I would hope that as members of the community, you would recognize that we are here to actually serve you. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And we're grateful that you're there, and we're grateful that you're coming back. I think we all are busy in our own ways doing things in Boulder City. Right now, the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance is interviewing, and I get to be part of that interviewing process for a new director, which is a major thing that's happening in the global economic of Las Vegas area. Our health district that I serve on is keeping us safe. Our RTC is grateful that we've passed the fuel revenue indexing so that we can have some of that money available to us. And that's been a huge blessing for the city of Boulder City in many different ways. We had some storms upstream that were very impressive to the point where they had to close down some of the tours in Page, Arizona, which is just by Lake Powell, and so hopefully we'll have some more water come downstream. I would recommend, if you get a chance, before the even dedication, go up in Wilbur Square and walk around. Jill and I had that opportunity, and it's already a special place, waiting for the unveiling of the statue and the memorial. We have a great place here in Boulder City. We come together, we talk, we are interested in opinions of everyone. I'm certainly grateful for the opinions that everybody has that we can listen to, appreciate, and we become wiser as we listen. So thank you everyone for coming out each and every time. With that, if there's nothing else, the council is adjourned.